Hello there. Welcome to my website today. Give you a little tidbits of some of the things we'll be talking about this weekend on our Common Sense radio show. We have an election just a few weeks away, a major election, the largest we'll have outside of the 2020 presidential election. Very important election in terms of in Washington, whether the Democrats can retake control of the House of Representatives and what will happen in the U.S. Senate. Of course, there's gubernatorial races, many races all over the country. I know something about elections. I ran 8 times for office in Louisiana, probably spent $8 million in my various races. I'm not happy about that. That's not the way it should be. But the other thing that's of interest is the lessons learned by the Democrats in 2016. Remember Michelle Obama, who said that they go low, we go high. And that was kind of the mantra of the Democrats, saying we're going to keep it positive. And they did keep it positive, and they were defeated. Donald Trump took a slash and burn approach to politics and still continues that today. And that's an unfortunate conclusion that you can draw from these past elections. Going high, not using negatives, just doesn't work. Now, you take polls, if you take a poll of the American public, people here in my home state of Louisiana or anywhere in the country, they'll say, oh no, we've got too much negativity in politics. We shouldn't have all that negative campaign information. We want to only vote for a candidate that keeps it very positive. But you know what? It just doesn't work. The candidates or the electorate, the voters, say they don't like the negative politics, and they don't. But they listen to these campaign ads. And what you see is that candidates, instead of talking about their program, their ideas, do a slash and burn, if you will, criticizing their opponent, calling the opponent every name in the book. It's just a terrible focus. The two components getting yourself elected are raising huge sums of money and going negative. That's what politics in America has become today. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's healthy for democracy, but it's there for a combination of reasons. Social media has allowed so many individuals to go around their congressman or senator, beyond their congressman or senator, and put their own podcast together, get very aggressive, and go right to the voters themselves. And as a consequence, you can go positive or you can go negative, and many people go negative. Then you see the money that's being poured into these various campaign funds. There are laws in the books that say you are limited to how much you can give a candidate. But of course, you can give unlimited amounts of money to some PAC who will not give it to the candidate, but will use it to slice and dice the opponent and do all the negative for the candidate. So we've got this convoluted system that I think is out of whack, brings too much negativity, and that negativity carries in to once they get elected, how they run their office, how partisan they become. We've seen that with the complete failure of cooperation in Washington between the Democrats and the Republicans. Not only do they disagree with the other side, but the other side has become the enemy. A far cry from Ronald Reagan, who used to criticize the Democrats and sit down with the Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, the Democrat, in the evening, have a drink together and swap stories. Or when Reagan said, look, if you're with me 70% of the time, I'm not going to criticize you. If I lose you 30% of the time, I want you 70% of the time. And so that compromising politics that seemed to bode us pretty well, in my opinion, just is not there today. The negative works. There is a massive amount of negativity that we're going to see in the next couple of weeks. It won't be positive, it'll be so negative. And of course, you'll be driven by the huge sums of campaign money. Are there solutions? I think there are. I think there's a number of solutions when it comes to the money. I think that, and I believe this is constitutional, I think you should only raise campaign funds within the district from which you run. In other words, if you're running for governor of Pennsylvania, you can only raise money within the state of Pennsylvania. If you're running for sheriff of some small county in Colorado, then you should only be able to raise money within that county. If we limit it to being responsive to the people that elect you, I think it would make a lot of difference, cut down massively on the fundraising that would be necessary, and bring politics back home to the local level. On the negative side, that's freedom of speech. I wish it wasn't that case, but I hope voters will be sophisticated enough to look through much of the negatives and look at the person that is they're considering voting for, looking at the attributes they bring that reflect their values and make this work a lot better. So the whole system is messed up. It's still the best system in the world. We got some tinkering to do, and unfortunately this election is coming up. The one lesson to say, though, before I leave is that be sure to go vote. You know, the projections are right now that only 30% of Americans will even go vote, that 70% won't even bother to vote what is billed as one of the most important elections in our lifetime. So I hope you'll think of your thoughts, listen to our radio show this weekend. I'll be writing about it in the next few weeks. Take a gander if you will. Thanks for tuning with me today.